Good evening. I'm Kate. I'm Councilmember Abby Payman's Chief of Staff. We thank you so much for taking the time to join us tonight. Please know this recording has started and we will be uploading the video and sharing it with your neighborhood associations for later. I'm going to hand it off to Councilmember Payman to get this evening started. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to be very quick, but I wanted to just express my appreciation to everyone in the neighborhood for working with our office. The fact that we're finally getting to see this project move forward is extremely exciting, and also to thank our Public Works team for working so closely with us, because this could not happen without them. So a very special thank you to Umar, AJ, Joanne, and others. Public Works will introduce their team and their division. This is the Transportation and Drainage Operations Division. We call it TDO. So again, to you all in Public Works, thank you for listening to our office and working with us, but also the voices of our residents from our super neighborhood and super neighborhood leadership, if Stacy is on, but also to Woodcrest leaders like Melissa and Brad and Philip and Melissa. We couldn't have done this without you spreading the word about this evening. And as Kate said, this is being recorded because we know that not everyone can tune in right now. But this is really to make sure that you all know what's going to be happening in the neighborhood as we bring these drainage benefits forward. Again, this came from residents not only reaching out to our office, but filling in 311 reports and allowing us to leverage that to work with TDO to bring this forward. This is I believe, upwards of $2 million investment that our office is making in the Woodcrest neighborhood. I want to be clear, though, as important as this is, there's still a lot more work that needs to be done after this. So this particular project is going to address one area within the broader neighborhood. We also, though, in working with TDO, they put forward a much broader drainage study that is showing us that we need to be doing a lot more in a lot more areas. That's going to take a lot more funding. And again, $2 million sounds like a lot, and it is. But for a broader drainage project that's going to help the wider area as well, we need a lot more funding. So we are working with the department and with outside forces to outside entities to look for additional funding to bring even more forward. Umar, I think you mentioned that what this investment will do is help this particular area in a daily rain. So I think you said about 6 inches in a day is what this will be able to help. But I'll let the experts speak to that. Again, I recognize this has been long awaited. I appreciate everybody's patience. Some of the delays had been specifically related to CenterPoint needing to relocate a lot of their gas lines that are put in a very shallow way. And we want to make sure that we don't have service disruption for residents as it relates to gas either. So now that CenterPoint, I believe, has completed that or is nearing completion there, the city can now go ahead and move forward with our part, which is the flood mitigation, the drainage mitigation. That being said, we will continue to work with every single one of you to bring even more drainage improvements to the area. We will not stop advocating for that larger scale project as we continue to look for outside funding and partners to bring that forward. I appreciate everyone's time tonight, and we definitely need y'all's help, especially as construction begins, to make sure other neighbors that aren't on tonight know what's going on around them, what they can expect, and who they can reach out to throughout construction if there are any needs. So with that, I'm going to hand it, Kate, I think, over to you to explain the format of tonight, and then we'll hand it off to Public Works before Q&A. Again, my appreciation to each and every one of you for working with us to bring this forward.
Thank you so much, Council Member. And to go over the format of the rest of the evening, Houston Public Works will begin their overview of the project and what you can expect. Following that, residents can put in the chat any questions that they may have, and then I will be moderating those and bringing them forward to the Houston Public Works team. Additionally, you can always reach out after the fact to the district seat office, and I will share our information and contact information at the end of the call. Thank you so much again, and please hold your questions until the end of the presentation. Public Works.
Thank you, Kate, and thank you, Councilmember, for your kind words and the introduction. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Woodcrest Subdivision Project Meeting Update. Before I share my screen, I wanted to do a quick round of introductions just for the Houston Public Works folks. My name is Umar Khan. I am the managing engineer for the SWAT program, which is the Stormwater Action Team under Transportation and Drainage Operations, which is TDO. With me, I have Andrew James Kessinger, or AJ. He's our construction lead for our all of our construction. Alongside, we have Joan Ruiz. He will be our project manager for this Woodcrest project. And we also have Batul Naqvi. She is the graduate engineer who helps with our design day in, day out for all of our projects. With that, let's dive into the presentation. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Houston Public Works, one team, one purpose. Together, we create a strong foundation for Houston to thrive. We have our 5 to thrive values, which are respect, ownership, communication, integrity, and teamwork. The outline of the presentation, where the project will take place, we'll discuss it in a nutshell. The goal of the project, what we are trying to achieve here, why the project is needed, how it will be done, the timeline, and then the next steps, and then the frequently asked questions. As Kate mentioned, I would appreciate if you can hold off your questions until after the presentation, just so that we have most of your questions may be answered within the presentation. Where our consultant analyzed back in 2021 and studied and modeled the area highlighted in red, Allen, Washington, Westcott, east of Westcott, and they identified that the existing drainage infrastructure within the community is undersized. So the project will be done in it was subdivided in 2 phases because of the cost. But since Centerpoint relocations took up a year or so the construction will be completed together for both phase 1A and 1B. In a minute, we'll talk about what each of these streets encompasses on Cohen, Allen, Birdsall, and Knox Street. The project goal is to provide a 2-year level of service within the subdivision. And we also have a potential for future improvements. As Councilmember said, there's a vast, bigger drainage study done, which has identified more improvements that we are finding other avenues to fund. And it may be if that comes in place, then it will also help other areas as well. Again, 2-year level of service is 6 inches of rainfall within a 24-hour time period. Why the project is needed, as most of you would know, the storm sewer lines are undersized. Some portions of roadside ditches are filled in, and then there are multiple flooding requests, multiple flooding reports within the subdivision. There are 50 plus 311 complaints, and also there are 30 plus FEMA flood complaints, which is structures flooded within the modeled area. Severe flooding during a 100-year event. During a 100-year rain event, the stormwater exceeds the right-of-way storage, and you can see water way beyond the right-of-way as well. Why the project is needed? Once we analyze the area, and we also did some desktop analysis, it was revealed that with silt accumulation and over time, the culverts are offset. And the ditches become silted. So water tends to stand in the ditches and there is no uniform flow within the drainage system. So phase one, like I said, it'll be all done in one phase, but the first phase on Cone, Knox, and Birdsall and Allen, we'll be regrading the ditches and upsizing the driveway culverts within a minimum 24 inches. This is what typically a roadside ditch cross section looks like. We have a buffer from the edge of the pavement, preferably 18 inches from the edge of the pavement. And then we have a gradual slope down, which is a 3:1 slope. This is what is called the flow line of the ditch. And then we have a 3:1 back slope to the property line as well. However, knowing that there are some instances there are challenges, just like Woodcrest, we have a tight right-of-way, meaning we do not have available 12 or 15 feet of right-of-way on one side. So that's where we transition to a dual system. A dual system is where we have pipe at the bottom underground, and then we have a shallow swale at the top, and then we have intermittent E inlets to capture the surface flow. Along Cone Street, we'll be installing a 30-inch RCP. And this is what a cross-section looks like for a dual system that we were talking about earlier. This is what a typical cross-section looks like of a street. We have water line on one side, we have a sanitary sewer line deep, and then we are proposing a storm sewer. It's not a box, but this 30-inch will be a circular pipe. Timeline, as said, the drainage analysis was completed in February 2021. The design was subsequently approved and completed in November 2022. However, the center point power pole relocation was completed in June, and then the gas relocation, we just got word that it is completed in May. So the anticipated construction notice to proceed is August 2024. The estimated days to complete is give or take 270. Weather permitting. So we are anticipating a completion date of June 2025. Next step. So for citizens, you need to document your existing conditions within the right-of-way. Before we start our project, typically 48 to 72 hours. The contractor will keep door hangers on your front door. Please keep your door tag notification handy. They will have important information regarding who's handling the project and who the point of contact is during construction. Our one request to you is please reach out to the project manager listed on the notification, or you can reach out to your council office if you have any concerns or question during construction. Please refrain from talking to the labor who is doing their job. That way they can focus on their job, and they may not have a broader picture of what the entire project is. Remove items from the right-of-way, which are basically trash cans and all that. For City of Houston, we'll remove any obstructions within the right-of-way, which are encroachments. Reestablish the roadside ditch and install new storm sewers. And then after all this is done, we'll do the site restoration. These are the frequently asked questions. Will this project cause traffic or mobility issues? Temporary lane closures to keep a safe buffer between traffic and equipment will be there. Temporary full closures will be done if there are, and there will be detours in place if that does happen. Will this interrupt water, sewer, or solid waste? The project will not impact sanitary sewer or solid waste. However, if there are minor interruptions for water are anticipated, because we do run into some water lines, and if we want to do some offsets in the water line, we will do that as part of our project. However, the residents will be notified ahead of time. So what are some possible negative effects on the residents? Equipment noise, minor delay due to lane closures. Some driveways will be replaced, so people may be getting some temporary driveways back. What are the work crew hours? It's Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then on the weekends, typically the contractors do not work over the weekends, but in some instances, if they do need to work, they reach out to us, and we will reach out to the council member office so that they can let you know that on a certain weekend the work will happen. That's all I have. I'll open the floor to questions.
Thank you
Kate,
so much.
I'll hand it back to you, ma'am.
Great, thank you. Please go ahead and put your questions in the chat. In the meantime, I have a question that has been submitted in advance who couldn't attend tonight. Will there be any road closures because of this project?
So temporary lane closures may be there because we are installing a 30-inch line on cone. So you will see temporary lane closures, yes.
Thank you. And can you please repeat the overall time that this project is expected to take?
We are anticipating to issue notice to proceed on August 19th, 2024. That doesn't necessarily mean that you will see active construction on that date. The notice to proceed is for the contractor, contractually obligating him to move equipment and all that. So you will be notified at least 48 or 72 hours prior to construction. So by August 19, the contractor should start mobilizing his equipment and his material. And then shortly thereafter, within the next 30 days, you should see active construction.
Thank you. A question from Kevin. Is there a phasing plan that shows first street and driveway shutdowns and closures?
Not as of yet. AJ?
So, hi. I will be overseeing the construction team for this project. We don't have a phasing plan yet. It's up to the contractor's means and methods, right? So we just met with him this morning at 10 o'clock on Woodcrest to set his plan. So hopefully we will have that set pretty soon. I will say that it's one of the best contractors that I've worked with in my 15 years in public works. So I have absolutely no qualms that they will do a good job on this project.
Thank you. Another question. For water, we assume that the new infrastructure will be laid first and tied in afterwards to minimize service disruption. Is this accurate?
Sorry, repeat that.
The comment says for water, we assume that the new infrastructure will be laid first and tied in afterwards to minimize service disruption.
It'll be handled on a case by case on this one. So depending on where the water offset is happening, if it's in conflict with the proposed storm sewer, then the offset will happen first in order for our improvements to go through. But if it's such that we can get our storm sewer in and then we do the water offset, then that is the priority. But again, it's all dependent location wise and on a case by case basis.
And it won't be like days, right? Like
right.
You'll be out of service for a few hours. And if it's more than that, we will absolutely communicate it to the community.
Thank you. Can you share more about the door tabs that will be placed and what action will be required from residents? I believe you mentioned about documenting current conditions.
Yes, so any like photos of your driveways, photos of your front yard, photos of your pavement. That's the thing, because sometimes we do run into some citizens that say that, hey, this is your contractor damaged X, Y, and Z, right? For example, so it will be better if you document this before so that we have that on hand, and then so that you can compare the before and after. So that's what we are asking for, to document the conditions before and after. Also, we as our project manager and inspectors, we also take daily photos, so we'll have a record as well. But it's up to the citizens' convenience if they can. As far as the door tag notification, it just notifies who the contractor is, who the project manager is, and what is their contact info. In case any problem comes up during construction, they can reach out to whoever the project manager is listed. Again, please reach out to the project manager or your council office, Ms. Kate, if you have any questions or concerns regarding construction or the contractor performance.
And on that topic, we have a question asking if you can disclose who the civil engineer and general contractor is.
The contractor is AJ DL Glover.
The general contractor will be D.L. Glover, LLC. Just had a meeting with them earlier today to set them as the ones that will be doing the construction. I do promise you, at least to Councilmember Kamen and Kate, that we give a 2-week notice notification from my team of notification that this is the contractor, this is the project, this is what we're doing. I'm telling you right now, I can tell you that like August 19th is when this project is going to start. And we'll send official notification to the council office. I live in this district. I'm across the street from Woodcrest. I live in Rice Military. I know that like, so I know that I will be more so maybe included in this project, but I know that like, we'll get everything out to Councilmember Kamen's office, everything out to them so they can get everything out to y'all. And I've been in contact with all of our leadership in this area. So if you have any questions, yeah, we'll get everything answered as best we can.
And we'll post out that notification as soon as we receive it. A couple more specific questions. Does this project address the corner of Cone and Tyne? I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. Heading towards Mapsy. There was a restriction of flow running towards Mapsy and Cone or Con.
So we are addressing, if you can see my cursor, we are addressing putting a 30-inch line just east of Cone, north of Maxi, right here. And then these two 24 inches will capture the flow. So it's kind of a dual system. We also do the ditch regrading, and we are also putting a 30-inch line. So you will see some improvements on Cone. And Tyne is just north of Maxi, I'm assuming.
It is. It's just, okay. Tyne is actually just Tyne is west of Cone. Sorry. I'm pulling up my Google Earth is where like looking. So basically, yeah, so
if is it north? I think it's just west of Cone.
Tyne runs west of Cone. You are correct. Sorry, we're like real live doing this as you guys are asking questions. I appreciate it though.
Yeah, so this is the intersection that is being inquired upon, and we are doing the ditch regrading, and then we are also putting a 30-inch line on Cone Street, running from Tyne to Maxi.
Another question, as Hammond Street is one of the most flooded with water in my home 13 times, it is circled on the map shown where 5 ditches flow to one point. Why is work not being done on Hammond?
Hammond.
And to the resident who submitted this question, I'm going to put my contact information in the chat because I would love to follow up with you on your specific issue as well.
Hammond, I see Hammond Street right here. What is the next Hammond and what?
Hammond and Cone and Allen kind of all intersect with each other, Umer. Just at the north, at the very north. Yeah, probably right around where your cursor is.
Yeah, so right there. We are doing some improvements at Hammond and Cone. But no work is being proposed on Hammond itself, maybe because of the fact that Hammond is flowing directly towards Cone. So if you do some improvements on Cone, it'll take water from Hammond and make some improvements over there.
And to the resident who asked that question, I put my contact information in the chat. Please reach out to me so that I can further connect. Another question is, I think it may have been answered. It looks like this is north of Mapsy Street. Does it affect the residents on Mapsy?
So all the improvements are on Cone, Allen, and Knox Street. I don't believe we are doing any improvements along Maxi. So if these improvements help Maxi, maybe it'll you will see a better conveyance, but we are not improving the ditches along Maxi themselves.
Another question that was pre-submitted is they have concerns about drainage in other areas that aren't necessarily considered in this SWAT, how can they report their drainage concerns to the city?
You can always submit your drainage concern to 311 and they will be routed to the correct department for review by calling 311.
And you can always reach out to the District C office with photos and videos. That's really helpful because it will help us advocate and explain the issues that are happening. And if it's helpful for us to know if that's happening during a normal rain event or when exactly it occurred. We have time for a few more questions if anyone would like to put them in the chat. We'll wait a few more minutes. Is it correct to assume that after the project, the inches of water which remains in is it correct to assume that after the project, the inches of water which remains in ditches like on Birdsall for days after heavy rain will be addressed?
It will definitely improve conveyance, yes, but you still have to remember that us SWAT program are rehabilitation, not reconstruction. So you will definitely see a improvement in conveyance, but days like these where you are having downpour after downpour for 20 days consecutive, your ditches will still hold water because they are designed as such. So that if the bayou is high, then your ditches are designed to hold water. As soon as the bayou comes down, then these ditches will drain.
And I think adding onto that, Umer, just not necessarily just because, you know, I'm in Rice Military, I'm close, just like in general, I'm going to convey that we've had the like wettest July ever, right, in rainfall in recent memory. Everybody's ditches are holding water right now. The ground can only absorb so much, right, as it can. So with as wet as it is, generally we give 72 hours for your ditches to dry up after a general rainfall, but it's been really, really, really wet recently here in Houston. So I realize everybody's ditches are holding water. Mine are holding water. It frustrates me as much as it frustrates you. As long as it's not flooding your house, we all just gotta kind of pull up our bootstraps and just deal with it. I don't like it any more than you like it. But when we get down to it, once you know this project is complete, hopefully it will drain your streets in away from your houses faster than it has been. And that's our goal. And that's what we're trying to do.
Thank you, Ajay.
Will there be any kind of work done to the ditches themselves? And before you answer this question, if you have any further questions, please go ahead and put that in the chat. Otherwise, I will begin wrapping up Q&A.
Will there be work done in the ditches? Yes. So if you are looking at this exhibit, the purple lines shown here depict that these are being ditch regrading. So yes, ditch regrading is part of this project.
Hey, Kate, am I unmuted?
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay. Hey, Robert Alexander. I live on the corner of Cone Street and Maxey. First, a big thanks to Abby's office and the engineering guys at the city. I understand the highlight is this 30-inch new pipe you're going to run on Cone for just one block between Maxey and Tyne. And I'm on audio, so I didn't get to see your visuals. In the future, and I'd seen previous schematics to this effect, that new 30-inch you're putting in, is that going to tie into an existing 36 or a future 48-inch? And I'll be quiet.
It's going to currently, as it's shown, there's an existing 36-inch on Maxey. That's where we are going to tie in the new 30 inches.
because I had monster construction when they relocated the 12-inch high pressure gas line, and my understanding was that gas line was relocated so that the existing 36-inch could be upgraded to 48-inch. And so that's the focus of my question. That would really go a long way to draining this area. And I think it was a 2018 schematic. I don't know who the engineer was that did that, but and I can follow this up later. Once again, thanks to Abby's office and engineering people. Look forward to seeing death and destruction on Cone Street. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. But the exhibit that you are talking about, we may have to inquire where that is coming from. Currently, the project that is being implemented is there's an existing 18 inches, which is being upsized to a 30 inches, and that 30 is tying to the 36 on Maxi. There are no plans as far as TDO SWAT is concerned. There are no plans to upgrade the existing 36 into a 48. Again, like like the council member mentioned, that there is a bigger study done. And it may be a part of that where the idea was to put some inline detentions like 6x5 boxes and take it all the way west towards Crestmont and then down to Buffalo. But again, for that to happen, we need other avenues of funding, because that's going to be a $16 million project, not taking into account the land acquisition and the detention that it requires.
Thank you.
Got
and
it.
as a
Yep.
final question tonight, can you confirm the existing underground drainage line running north is sufficient enough to carry all the extra water?
Running north on Cone?
They didn't clarify, I apologize.
It's going to run south to Maxi,
Yes,
correct?
correct. The 30 inches running south towards Maxi and tying into the 36.
Excellent. Thanks again. Umar, how do you spell your first name?
Umar?
Okay. Thank you so much once again.
Thank
You're
you
welcome.
all. Umar, do you have any closing comments?
No, again, we look forward to working with you, and we are appreciative of you for waiting this long. I know it's a long time coming, but we were getting our ducks in a row where we were waiting on Center Point to relocate all the services. Now that they are removed, they are relocated. We're gonna go 500 miles an hour. We promise the best construction, and just bear with us. There is another minor inconvenience in there. There will be some dirt, some debris, some construction debris. You will be inconvenienced, like you may have to park your car a couple blocks off and walk for a couple days, couple times. But please be assured that it'll all turn out to be the best. And also, please, if you have any questions, please direct it to either to us, Houston Public Works, or your council member's office. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you. And we thank you all greatly for your time on this meeting tonight. By the end of the week, we will have uploaded this presentation and the recording. I think, Stacy, was that you?
Yes, it was. Yes.
Stacy's our
May
super
I say a
neighborhood
few
president.
words?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. It's hard for me to see because I'm on my phone who all is on the call, but I did want to introduce myself and also let the residents know that I am available throughout this project, as well as AJ. I do live in Rice Military. I am the super neighborhood president for the Washington corridor. And, I'm just on the south side of the avenue and I live about a block from AJ. So in the event that and I'm speaking specifically to the residents, in the event that you are not able to reach the District C office, whether it's over a holiday or you're not able to reach Public Works, whatever the situation may be, you are absolutely welcome to reach out to me. I know most of you are probably in the Rice Military Neighborhood Facebook group, And probably the quickest way to get in touch with me is to hit me up on Facebook Messenger. But I am available to you throughout this project. We had a smaller version of this project done in I guess it was a block of Rice Military, and AJ was also the point person for that as well. So I'm very familiar about what's being done over here, and I want you to all know that I am available to you. The other thing that I want you to know is I want to just highlight Philip Temple. If it weren't for him, the vice president of your civic association, this project would not be where it is today. So please reach out to him and thank him for all of his efforts. He has spent countless hours and time going to council, speaking to the news, and experiencing the flooding issues that a lot of you are experiencing in Woodcrest. So he really has led this effort on the neighborhood front, and I appreciate him taking the time out and being interested in making his neighborhood better. So with that said, it would be very helpful to your neighborhood if all of you would rally around and him as well as the Civic Association and get involved, because as Umar was saying, there is a larger, and also the council member, there is a larger project that needs to be done, but it's going to require all of us to be organized and stay involved to better our community. So that's all I had to say. I'm happy to connect with all of you, outside of this meeting, but thanks again to the council member, to Kate, to AJ, to Umar, and the rest of Public Works for bringing this to fruition. And I'm really excited, that Woodcrest is finally getting these much needed improvements.
Thank you, Stacy. We look forward to working together with all of you. As I was mentioning, by the end of the week, we will have this recording and other documents uploaded to our District C website, and we will share this out with the Woodcrest Association. Thank you, Melissa, for spreading this out far and wide, as well as posting it on your Facebook pages. With that being said, I hope everyone has a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.